He did, I think, 2 years in jail, but he died 2 months later because he got so terribly sick while in jail. So the unfolding story of, well, here's the first pop prisoner, and some people know him and know a little bit about him. But the idea that it was a terminal offense, it cost him his life. And that's the reality of so many people today. We always want to diminish the human rights issue that's happened here in America. I mean, it's one thing to say it's tragic that we don't have resources or haven't been building hemp cars and hemp houses. But on the flip side, we've taken some of the most creative, some of the most inspired people in our nation and put them in prison with really dangerous, sick, horrible people, locked them up together. In many places, 50% of the population in jails and prisons are cannabis offenders, 50%. Another half are rapists and murderers and real scary people you don't want to be around. So we've taken the best of the best and locked them up with the worst of the worst for something that our first law in America was, cannabis law was, you have to grow cannabis in America. You could not come to this country, get a little piece of land, and say, I'm just going to do my own thing. The government said, no, 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 if you're going to be in America, if you're going to be an American, you've got to grow cannabis hemp, right? And to see Nixon and all these people along the way in the 20th century say, no, you're a bad person if you grow cannabis hemp, as they involve us in these wars overseas, and they push on the nuclear agenda and all these things we've gotten involved in while making us look like the bad guys. And yet our founding fathers, George Washington, said one of the greatest joys of his life was to sit on his front porch with a pipe full of hemp and watch the sunset over his land, right? I mean, how beautiful is that? The founding fathers risked their lives to smuggle hemp seeds in from Europe to America for the 30 years leading up to the Revolutionary War. Had we not had our own really high-end industrial hemp strains in America, we wouldn't have survived the first 20, 30, 40 years. So they risked their lives sowing hemp seeds into, which is funny because it happens in this modern time as well, sowing seeds into the lining of their clothes to get on the ships in France to come back to America to grow these industrial strains. So when they finally told England, we don't need you anymore, we weren't all going to starve to death here. We're going to have resources. And they would have, even with Ben Franklin being the well-known man he was, they would have cut his head off if they would have found him smuggling their French seeds out to America. So the power of industrial hemp, what it has meant to us globally and historically, is there's no way to quantify how big this is. If the holy anointing oil, which is widely accepted in academia today, was a cannabis-based oil, canna flowers, canna blossom we call it, and everyone today recognizes that as, most people in academia recognize that as being cannabis, then Jesus was using this 2,000 years ago as part of his anointing process to bring people into this tradition. And that goes along with the Buddhist traditions and the Hindu traditions that also recognize cannabis as being a fundamental gift from God. As a way to both survive and sustain ourselves, and as a way of having a spiritual connection. And that's not to be understated as well. It's a very important thing. And then when you get into the locking us here in America, and we made that a global tradition, locking people up who use this flower, that was recognized as sacrament by, I'm willing to say by research I've done, most of the religions in the world have been formed in the last 2,000 years. Have recognized cannabis as being something special, something unique. And so you've got the human rights violations, you've got religious violations, you've got the government going against every sense and sensibility to uphold this drug policy, and we can make that change here in the next few years. We can support the federal descheduling of cannabis, although I also support federal descheduling of all drugs. And the feds should probably get uninvolved in many other issues that they're involved in at this point, and let local communities decide what works for them. And then locally, again, support the Jack Herr Initiative, which again is very progressive, CCHI 2014. We haven't even switched the campaign, we haven't switched the website over from the 2012 campaign yet, but we're doing that in the next few weeks, and we'll be up and running here soon with what we think is really a slam dunk for 2014 in California, because these other states really opened the door wide. But we have to be very thoughtful about the type of legislation we put forward. They recognize it's coming, and I think they're very eager to put legislation in that still helps support their paradigm. So in Washington, they legalized cannabis up there, but they made it a driving offense. They set the level so incredibly low to be intoxicated while driving that everybody in Washington who smoked a joint in the last week is driving now illegally, and they're going to take away their license, and it's going to be a whole mess up there. So any law that then makes it more complicated really is counterproductive. Yes.
Did it heal you? You had something internally wrong with you?
Oh yeah, no, I've never had any very serious illnesses. I've been proactive through most of my life. At one point, we were doing the Beck protocol in the early '90s, and um, we had a phlebotomist that was doing blood samples for us, taking blood out, and we could watch how the blood got cleaned through this 30. We were doing about 30 days at that point. Um, and at the end, our blood was so vital and so red. At the beginning, there are things crawling around in there. You can see stuff in your blood, and it's sort of swampish, and it's sort of dark. Most people's blood is kind of this dark color. And as I went through this 30 days, and at that point I was eating hemp seed and trying to live a good, healthy life, but doing, running a little current in the bloodstream, drinking some ozone. And within 30 days, we had blood that would stay alive outside of our body for 30 days, which is unprecedented. Medical schools teach human blood goes rancid within 48 hours. The average American, though, in modern times, blood's going rancid within 6, 7, 8 hours. So to have blood to stay alive outside your body for 30 days is, when we send it to laboratories, they send us notes back saying, don't tell us you took this out of a human being, a living person. Babies are not born with blood this clean. If you did take this out of a human being, tell them they're immortal. Right? They thought they were joking with us. They thought we'd run it out, and they're like, yeah, we can all do this. Take the blood out, you run it through a centrifuge, a couple filters, you bubble a little ozone in, then you can put it in a jar, and it'll sit on the shelf for 30 days. But don't tell us you drew this out of a human being. So that's the potential. This is Radio Shack stuff. This is stuff I bought at, pieces I bought at Radio Shack and built these machines that can clean my blood and give me literally the metaphor for our blood is our lifeblood. So if your lifeblood can go from 2 days to 30 days, what's our real life health potential?
And what caused that?
Which, oh,
for your blood to last so long.
Running a microcurrent into the pulse points on my wrist, or you got these pulse points all over the body. So the one on the wrist, the easiest. I strap a little electrode there, 2 electrodes, and run a current through for about 2 hours a day. I would drink several glasses of ozone through the day. I'd drink colloidal silver through the day. Then I used a pulse magnetic field generator to clean out the lymph system. I would pulse the lymph system with a microcurrent, running about 75 microamperes into the bloodstream here. Then a magnetic field that come out about 10 inches that also carried about 75 microamperes. And we're finding that that's what deactivates viral, fungal, bacterial pathogens.
So you got rid of the bugs.
Yeah, I got rid of all the bugs. Now that I knew what was in me or had any specific issue, it just seemed like a wise thing to do at that point. And as I watched my blood get very clean, I was very surprised to find it all worked as well. I was skeptical early on. I didn't take either of these men at face value. I did years and years of research, and like I said, I'm still kind of building upon those themes. But I've watched colloidal silver and ozone go from somewhat obscurity to many, many mainstream applications today. And cannabis is kind of on that same track. It gone from sort of a counterculture thing to it is a major influence.
You call that some kind of protocol?
It's called the Bob Beck protocol.
Beck?
Beck, B-E-C-K, Dr. Bob Beck. He was a researcher at UCLA. He actually developed a flash camera, did some work on CBS, cranial electrostimulation, which is how I actually found him. A little technology that clip on the ears and balances the serotonin and dopamine levels in the brain using harmonic frequencies. Beautiful stuff, right? So started with that, and then some of the students came to him and said, Dr. Beck, you work with microtechnologies in people's health. UCLA, or Albert Einstein University just got issued a patent from the US government saying they're curing AIDS with microcurrents of electricity. And I looked up the patent, and sure enough, they got issued a patent for curing AIDS in 1990 using this protocol, except they put the machine in the arm. They created a little machine, opened the arm up, stuck the machine in there, pulled it out 15 days later, changed the battery, put it back in. These guys can't do anything without turning it into a surgery or getting some petroleum in you somehow, right? But Beck said, well, if we're just looking to get microcurrent in there, just strap it on the arm, people can sit on their sofa at home, watch a movie, and do this protocol. So that's the angle we've gone at it with. We found it worked just like they found it, except they weren't cleaning out the lymph system. So they were claiming to cure AIDS, but many viral and bacterial and fungal infections will lay dormant in your lymph glands. They found a way to get in, and it's very hard to get things out. You can't really get medicines in there very easily.
Yeah.
So this pulse field goes through there with these microcurrents, deactivates the pathogens while they're in the lymph system, as well as cleaning the blood, and you actually at some point have everything on the body. I know we can't say cure in America or anything, but that's sort of how I view it. If you can get the infection out of the body, and that's why they view so many things as incurable, because they don't know how to clean the lymph system. So they say, yeah, we clean your blood, blood with petroleum products or poisons, or there are many ways of cleaning the blood out. But if you can't clean the liver at the same time, these things pop back up 3, 4, 5 years later.
Is there a site where we can like read how to do those things that
Yeah,
you were just telling us about?
The Beck protocol, yes. There's
I mean, I like how to make the machines and everything.
right. No. There's
Okay.
I actually have a tribe site, Bioelectric Technologies at
Do you have-
tribe.net.
Do you have a card? Is it on your card?
It's not, actually, this isn't on my card. This
Okay.
is a
Is
little
this stuff
site.
down at the table?
I'm mostly representing cannabis here today. So I do have a little bit of silver with me. I think I might have some of the machines with me, but I know someone was doing a lecture yesterday on colloidal silver production, and it's I
What was
thought
that
it was,
site again?
I mean, is that information down at the table?
about the bioelectrics.
Yeah.
No, but I have a card with some sites I can steer you to.
And your Twitter?
And my Twitter, Dr. Mesvin on Twitter, and my email is healthfreedom@gmail. Healthfreedom@gmail. If anybody wants to send me any questions or has any,
Can you repeat the website for the protocol? Can you repeat that website one more time, the tribe site?
All right, Bioelectric Health Technologies is the name of the tribe on tribe.net, and that was before Facebook. It was a little counterculture thing.
And do you have a number of a table